Cheers, everybody. We are back for another edition of Bourbon on a Budget. TJ Pittenger, Brendan Sinone, and Ben Cock with you guys with some special guests that will jump right into their story and what's going on. The Doc Brown Farmers and Distillers. We've got a trio of guests. You can only see two right now. One's off camera, but we've got Daniel, Paige, and Amy with us. Talking about their distillery. This is Brendan's brainchild, so I'm going to let him drive this boat tonight. But everybody on here, we've got a whole host of folks. How are you guys doing tonight?
We're good. Their internet's going.
I'm doing great, TJ. Thanks for asking. I'm doing so good tonight.
Good. I'm glad you're doing well. Let me add them here, remove them here, and we're set.
No, they're there. Good. They're good.
Here we are, baby.
All right. Welcome, the Doc Brown Farm and Distillers, guys. Thanks for joining us. So you have a pretty cool story of basically starting your own distillery. You're in the early stages of that right now, and some cool background. But first off, I was doing a little research beforehand. Paige, who is off camera, my understanding is she's a Georgia grad. So congrats on the national championship. Go Bulldogs.
Absolutely. Go Dogs.
Did you take a pull of Pappy 23 like Stetson did?
Yeah.
Just like he did.
Like it.
Just like it.
All right, so you guys have a farm, and on that farm, you're distilling some pretty cool sounding bourbon in the beginning stages of it. So first off, you're in, I'm going to mispronounce it, so maybe you can pronounce it for me. Is it Sonoa, Georgia?
We lost them.
It's Sinone. It's
Sonoma. Oh man,
Georgia?
I had a oh, here they go, coming back. How do you pronounce where you guys are from? Sonoa, Georgia?
It's Sonoy.
Sonoy.
Almost like there's two E's on the end instead of the IA. So
Sonoy.
Sonoy, Georgia.
All right. Is that where Walking Dead is filmed by any chance? I feel like I know that. All right. I knew that name for a reason. Awesome. Super nerdy.
Like 2 miles from the farm. If you go 2 miles east, then you will be right downtown. The walls are there. The big windmill, all of that's right there. Yeah.
You guys ever seen any zombies walking around town?
Oh yeah.
Oh, my goodness.
Oh yeah. You go out to eat, and there's patio restaurants where you can sit on the patio, constantly seeing the zombies.
Love it. That's so cool and surreal. All right, so let's get into it, guys. What made you say, "Hey, we're going to start distilling here"? It's not an easy venture. It's not a cheap venture at all. So what made you say, "Let's give this a try"?
Sure. I'll take it. So we.
Buffering.
We're back. Living out. We're back.
All right, we got you.
One of the bad things about living on a farm in rural Georgia, you don't have good internet. So our apologies. We're trying to hang in there. When we bought this farm, it's in a program called the CUVA program, where you either had to have livestock or crop. And we just knew we did not want to do livestock and be tied down to animals and vaccinations and things like that. So we're like, let's do crop. And we all come from a heritage farming background. And we said, let's grow some corn. And Dan actually came up with the idea of us growing this beautiful, if y'all can see it, this beautiful Jimmy Red corn.
Oh, wow. Look at that. That's awesome.
Very unique color.
Forrest, you're going to have your work cut out for you with the post-production on this.
So we said, what are we going to do with the corn after we grow it? And he's like, well, let's call Andy up at the distillery and see if he'll distill it for us, kind of like just for our family.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
And so we called a good friend of mine that I've known since childhood, who owns R.M. Rose Distillery up in Dillard, Georgia, and said, hey, if we grow this crazy, rare, hard to grow corn, will you distill it for us? And he said, absolutely, bring it on up. And when we did, he fell in love with it, the way it distills, the way the flavor profiles are. And he said, I really think y'all are onto something. So we just took off from there and started expanding our farm. And that's kind of how we got it going.
So what about the corn specifically, the Jimmy Red corn, makes it, other than the color, which is beautiful, vibrant for people listening to the podcast version of this? It's a vibrant, like blood red.
I'd almost call it garnet. Not
garnet. Ooh, is this an FSU?
Well, maybe I'm a little bit of a homer there, but
so what makes the Jimmy Red corn so unique, guys? Oh, can you hear me? Sorry, what makes the Jimmy Red corn unique?
So it's open pollinated. That means you can't spray it with Roundup, like Roundup Ready corn, like you can yellow dent corn that is normally grown for feed and distilling. So you can't spray it with any, herbicides or anything and pesticides.
Yeah.
And it has really high starch content versus the number 2 dent corn that's normally made for bourbon.
Okay.
So it's really high.
Got really high, and it converts the sugars to alcohol at a high rate.
At a higher rate.
Yep.
And it has an oil finish. It has it's rich
high
in
oils.
Yeah, rich in oil. So the legs on this bourbon are really unlike any other when you look at it.
So I love it.
Let me let him jump back in.
Okay. No, I do love the idea of like experimenting with like different types of grains and even to try different types of corns. I think is worthwhile. It's cool.
There we are.
Yeah. So I want to ask you, how long have you been doing it? And I kind of know the answer to that. So just so that other people can answer, but then, to follow up, like, is there anything that's like comparable with like the red corn? I know Texas does some blue corn stuff, but like talk to us a little bit about, the red corn specifically. Are you guys just kind of cutting edge, or is there stuff out there that's already kind of similar, or how's that process looking?
Well, there's one in Charleston with High Wire Distilling that it's called Revival, and they do red corn. Well, out of Jimmy Red also. But theirs is 100% red corn. Whereas ours will be a different mash bill.
We'll
We'll have 2 mash bills, but none of ours is 100% corn.
Right.
Okay.
Right. We felt like the flavor profile of that was a little bit
harsh.
Yeah, a little bit harsh. So we have one that's going to have more rye, and then we have one that's going to have it's a 4.
I think we're going to go with 4 grain.
Ooh, that sounds good.
5 grain.
No, that's just no. Oh, sorry. You were starting to say 4 grain, I think.
Right. So we'll have one that's a 4 grain, which is wheat, rye, barley, and of course our corn.
Okay. So are those the Resurrection Red and is it the Effie Jewel?
Effie Jewel. That is.
Okay. All right. So which one's which? It's how are you deciding the marketing of it, and then how are you kind of deciding the flavor profiles of each one of these as you're kind of building them and letting them distill?
Yeah. So the Resurrection Red's going to be the one with a little bit more rye.
Okay.
And it's going to have the corn and rye, and Effie Jewel's going to be a little bit more easy on the palate with the wheat and the rye and the barley. So it's actually, we have and if we need to try to figure out Dan's got internet at his house, but we thought we would do it here at the farm. But if it's a better time, usually we can do these calls. I don't know what's happening tonight.
It's all right, guys. Keep pushing through.
Yeah, we'll fight through it. No, you're fine.
This is our Effie Jewel right here. And this is only 10 months in the barrel as of October. And it's already got really, really good flavor and good color. And so we've been kind of sampling and doing some things like that with it. But we're heading into our third. You asked how long we've been doing it. We're heading into our 3rd crop. So we have 2 years in the barrel right now.
Okay.
We've got approximately 20 barrels sitting. The corn is a little bit difficult. Back the corn, you get an 80% germination on it. That's all you're going to get out of it. So if you plant 5 acres, you're going to lose an acre. It's The
It's not gonna
pollen
come up.
is not going to come up.
Yep.
It's not going to make. And so that's why a lot of distilleries aren't doing it, because, to be honest, it's not cost effective to
Yep.
do that. You know,
Right.
it's hard.
No.
It's not the Indiana, like Dan said,
It's not
acres and
no.
acres and acres
No.
of dent corn. This has to be tendered every day. You have to work with it. It's because we can't spray it. It's about.
Ooh, we lost completely that time. Let's see if
I
it
can
goes
hop
back.
in. Question.
It's about as organic as you're going to get it, but we can't call it organic because we have not had Georgia Organics out here.
Certified. Yeah.
Right. Cost money.
Yeah.
There's no spray used with this, none whatsoever.
Can you talk a little bit about when you guys are going to be coming to market? I think you had said that some of the older stuff is about 2 years. So you're kind of at that straight bourbon whiskey line of demarcation there at those 2 years. When are you guys trying to hit the market? And what does that kind of look like for you guys?
Well, we're trying to make sure it's going to be a good product.
That's
you know,
right.
we don't want to put something out there that's too young.
Sure.
Right.
I tried one the other day that was too young, and I don't want to be that. I don't want to be that person. So we want to make sure that it's a good flavor profile to put out to the market instead of getting something to the market fast.
Are you guys talking about any other distillates right now? Gin or vodka, some of those kind of like younger products that don't require you to be in the barrel as long?
It's got to be difficult to.
Thanks, Brendan, for muting yourself. I appreciate that.
So I was going to say real quick while they're coming back, they're not sourcing anything. So go ahead, Ben, ask again. But they made it clear.
I was wondering if you had any of the like younger other distillates, as far as like maybe like a gin or a vodka, to kind of like grow capital while we're waiting for bourbon to age, that kind of play.
We're working. We are definitely working on that. I'm headed to the distillery tomorrow. We're working on some creams, some bourbon creams.
Nice.
Yep.
We've got some flavor profiles that we're testing now. Some peppermint mocha, butter pecan. We're trying to keep it in our lane, which is, the true Southern.
The South.
Taste of the South. Butter pecan. You're not going to get much more than that.
Yeah.
Give me a rum raisin.
So we're working on those tomorrow.
I am all for the butter pecan, just to let you guys know. If you want to know what to get
I just got butter pecan ice cream today, and it was amazing.
Well, I'm on Whole30, so suck it.
Would you get a butter pecan candle or something? What are you talking about?
Look at Jason just signed up.
You're on Whole30.
Just show the comments when they come back on. Let them know. Let them know.
We'll do.
Let them know we.
There we go.
There we are.
Look, Jason, some of our big fans, Jason and Jennifer, just signed up for Doc Brown mailing list while they're ready. Good, got 2 customers for tonight. So
There we go, baby.
Spread the word.
Thank you.
I'm all about the butter pecan, though, is what they were. Now I'm also just a sucker for straight bourbon too, so I don't like the flavor stuff all the time.
Right.
But butter pecan that's a flavor that you'll get me with every time.
That's
Good.
good.
That's a good.
We're excited to taste that. We've been working with the mixologist, the scientist of the flavor profiles, and we're really, really excited about that. So I'll be tasting those tomorrow and trying to kind of get our peppermint mocha. That'll kind of be more of a holiday thing, and then coffee or a latte or espresso or something like that.
But we don't want to source any bourbon like straight bourbons.
Why not? Can I ask you guys? Because that's a lot of people are doing that to kind of cut to make it more cost effective early on to start getting a flavor profile and marketing out there. So why not for you guys?
Well, because everything that's in our bourbon is grown in our field or within, a 5-mile radius of our farm. So, every bourbon bottle that we put out is from our farm instead of from Indiana or Kentucky, which nothing wrong with that.
Absolutely. We love them all.
We got to be true to what we're trying to do. We're trying to bring back the story of the resurrection red corn and that kind of thing. instead of sourcing bourbon.
And
for
to
us.
kind of put it, we're farmers.
Right.
And before we were bourbon makers, we're farmers.
Right.
My
Mhm.
heritage, Paige's heritage, Dan, because of my heritage is
Yep.
we come from families. The Brown side of the family came to the United States in 1816, and that's all we've ever done is farm. And so, of course, as time progressed, the younger generation, my generation, we've done other things, but to me, it was important to get back to my roots, to get back to the earth, to get back to the feel of the dirt on your bare feet and in your hands, and it's a labor of love. So
Yeah.
I think for all of us, really,
Yep.
it's the love of the earth first,
Yep.
and
make a good quality product that we can be
Yes.
proud of, where, everything we do is grown in Georgia. The seed is, I buy the seed from Georgia, company in Georgia. We grow it, we grind it on a grist mill, one of 3 in Georgia, and we distill it in Georgia. And the barrels come from white oak Georgia trees.
Georgia trees.
Awesome.
So it's really
So
a
everything
cool-
is contained in the state.
And-
And we're not really marketing that per se, but it is cool.
but it is cool. Yeah.
But everything's
Yeah.
contained in the
In the
state,
state of
and
Georgia.
nothing is brought in from outside.
No outside sourcing. And that was to differentiate ourselves from competitors. We felt like that was really what we had is we grow it, we
Yep.
plant it, we grow it, we grind it, we distill it, we barrel it. And it's
Yep.
all done just right here. Just
All
real
of just us.
Just us.
Just
Just
us.
us.
Yeah.
It's a very old school approach, and I
Very.
love it. I think it's really great. Speaking of old school, Daniel was talking about this earlier when we were on the phone today. The mill. Can you give us a little bit of a background on the old school mill? Like it's
So it's in
turn of the
Junction
century.
City, Georgia. It's an hour and 20 minutes south of us.
south
Yes.
of us.
And a guy named Mike Buckner has been in his family for hundreds of years.
Hundreds.
Yeah.
I mean, they've owned it since the early 1800s. And it's a true water-powered grist mill, one of 3 in the state of Georgia, that still operates. And he'll grind your grain. I mean, you could take him a tote of grain down there, and he'll grind it for you. But it is the old way of doing things.
It is the old way.
It's hard. It's hard work.
It is.
It's a lot of hard work. I mean, it's a full day. It's a full 8-hour day to grind.
I love
you
that.
know,
Barrels.
5 barrels of
barrels
corn,
of
which
corn.
is 1,200 pounds. 1,200 pounds of corn takes 8 hours.
Wow.
What's your and how many barrels or how many
my
barrels of whiskey is that making?
That probably makes
This year,
2 to 3.
Yeah.
Boy.
yeah,
Not a lot.
not a lot.
Not a lot.
I
But
mean, when you talk about stepping back into time,
right.
it's
Yeah.
unbelievable. We laugh because we want the whole world to see this.
It's
First of all,
unbelievable.
to see
It's
this
unbelievable.
place,
Right.
and then secondly, to see the process because we literally take
You scoop it.
scoop a bucket. And then we have to re-scoop it back into the barrel. And so on any given day, we're lifting 2,500 pounds, one bucket at the time, going back and forth.
But the grist mill grinds it to a different consistency than a hammer
Wait.
mill or a roller mill.
Okay.
It grinds it to a more consistent consistency.
Right.
You
Right.
get more yield out of it.
Yes.
Hmm.
Lot more yield.
Yeah.
It's really cool.
So
I love it.
Back to the
Yeah,
old
Jay-
way of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Very.
no, it's a couple of points, and then we'll take us home. Jason, Jennifer mentioned that they went and signed up, but how can people? What's the website? How can people follow along with what you're doing,
Sure.
and stay up to date on what's going on with everything there at the distillery and at the farm?
Sure. So our website is docbrownfarm.com. And we are on social media as the same, Doc Brown Farm and Distillers on Facebook, Instagram. I am not good at tweeting. I'm just not. I'm almost 57 years old. I grew up on a typewriter. So when you say I got to do this, I'm like, oh my God, I can't do this.
Stay off
But-
Twitter. It's an awful place. It's fine.
It
People are
is.
just really mean there.
So I
Yeah.
grabbed
Especially to me.
the name just to grab it, but we're on Facebook and Instagram. We have a YouTube where we upload some videos of what's happening on the farm and
Cool.
some of our processes and things like that. I've got some that I've got to get uploaded up there, but from the website, there's a sign up for an email. We're going to be doing what's happening on the farm. What we have found is that people are really intrigued, yes, about the bourbon, but they're more intrigued about the process of how
The story. Absolutely.
How you get it from
Yeah.
the field to
how
the
you
barrel.
get it from an ear of corn right here into this
Yeah.
here, you know?
Why you're doing it, your process, all of that stuff. We talked about on our very first episode. We find whiskeys all the time that we like, don't like, whatever. It comes and goes. We've tasted stuff that's supposed to be elite, that's been okay. We've tasted stuff that's $22, and we'd be like, man, this is great. And so, but really, what it is at the end of the day is you're drinking with the people that you love, right? And you're enjoying the stories and the camaraderie and different things like that. So my follow up to that is, this is for all of you. When are we taking a field trip up to the farm?
I know.
That needs to be
Go.
that needs to be the next. I would love to come. We would love to come see it, document it, and
Meet some zombies while we're up there.
meet some zombies.
I just want to see Brendan
cool
carrying
to-
around a bucket of corn the
you've got
entire day.
You've got the young bourbon there. It'd be cool to try it at different stages. I'm sure you pulled it out at
White Dog. So this is White Dog. This is 148
proof.
proof.
Woo, that's right at Ben's alley.
148.
I haven't had a white dog since my wife's Christmas party a couple years
I
back.
know.
Yeah.
It burns your nose. You can't smell it.
But it
But
finishes.
it's not bad.
It's
You can
not
drink it.
bad. It's
Interesting.
drinkable. You would
You
think
can drink
it would not be, but
Challenge accepted.
love for y'all to see it.
Well, you're gonna twist our arm.
Don't tempt us with a good time.
Oh yeah.
We would love for y'all to see it.
Anytime.
We're thinking about having high heels and cornfields tour, and people have asked about that to say, hey, we would love to come see the farm and the distillery. What people don't realize is our farm is one piece of it, and the distillery's
There's
up
another
in North
piece.
Georgia,
Sure.
where the limestone filtered water is.
Okay.
But most people just want to come see us on the farm and sit on our
Yeah.
tractors and see the. So we're putting together like a high hills and cornfields tour event,
Yeah.
music, some cigars, some bourbon.
Mhm.
All right. You got
I was
us.
gonna say, keep us updated. This sounds amazing.
Yeah.
Ben will pull out his high heels. It'd be
I
great.
got my heels ready.
There you go.
Ready to go.
We've got some extras for you. Just
There you go. I get
10 and a
stuck in
half,
some
10 and a
mud.
half.
Can't wait.
anytime prior to that, we would love for you to come see it, because
Yeah, I think
it
it'd be
is one
fun.
of a kind. We're, to our knowledge,
Yeah.
and we've done the research as much as we can, we're the only one in Georgia doing this seed distill.
Mhm.
There are other distilleries in Georgia,
Mhm.
but the only one that says from the time we plant it till the time we barrel it is a year, and we get it in within the year. We're the only one doing that, so we're really
So this
Present.
past year we had some corn we planted in March. We harvested in September, and then we barreled it by the end of December. So it'll be bottled and bond.
Bottled,
We
right.
set that aside for bottled and bond. So we did have a couple barrels,
about four.
4 barrels of bottled and bond bourbon this year
All right.
that was done with that purpose.
Love
Yeah.
it. It's a good idea.
It's cool. Yeah, I see you guys are only like four hours north of where Brendan is in Tallahassee, a little bit further for me and Ben. But yeah, we definitely need to get it together and get it done.
Oh yeah, where are you, TJ? Where do you live?
We're just north of Tampa.
North of
Okay.
Tampa.
Okay.
Okay, yeah,
There you
that's
go.
that's not
Awesome.
bad.
Yep.
Is FSU at Georgia Tech this year, or is Georgia Tech at
No,
FSU?
it's home.
Ah, that would have been a perfect one.
Oh, that's in like August, September, October. I want to go before that. I'm ready to go like in 2
I
weeks. What do you got going on?
Listen,
We're planting corn in March, so we need all the help we can get.
Oh my God! Let's get Ben up there and do Ben
Yeah.
farming
We've got
episode.
Yeah.
3 more laborers,
we got-
sitting right?
Yeah,
Yeah.
that's why.
I'm-
That's what this is for.
I'm a really good city slicker down here, so I'm really good at that.
Jason and Jen said it's only 45 minutes from them. So
Yeah, they're in
Wow.
Macon. They're
Oh,
in
yeah,
Macon.
that's
Oh,
right.
Nick and Norman
Nick and
and
Norman.
McGuire's. Oh yes.
That's less than 5 minutes from here.
Yes.
Woo!
Nick and Norm's has some of the best burgers you'll
Yep.
ever put in your mouth.
all right, guys.
All right.
Put a day on the calendar. I'm there.
All right. Noe's going to come up
make
there
sure it's
too.
on my anniversary weekend, but anything but that's fine.
It is a lovely little
It's a great
town.
place.
You will not be disappointed at all. And we would love to have you here and just sit and talk about our
Anytime.
stem to stern.
Yep.
We'd love it.
Sounds like
Awesome.
fun. Sounds awesome.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely get it done. Well, thank you guys so much for hanging out. We appreciate you guys' time.
Yes, for sure.
And we'd love to have you back to like continue to talk about the process, and
Oh,
like I said,
okay.
we'd love to get up
Yep.
there and chat as well.
Definitely.
So
We would listen. We appreciate y'all reaching out. Sorry for the very first for the literally we do not have internet out on the farm, so I got my phone stuffed in the windowsill right there.
Oh, it's been great since you did that. It's been awesome.
it's been good. Yeah, no, it's been
I
going
know
well.
it. So we apologize for that up front, but thank y'all for
Yeah.
having us. We really
appreciate
appreciate it.
Thank you for
No
your time,
problem.
sharing your story. It's really cool what you guys are doing. Looking forward to kind of following along as you're continuing to develop and grow. And yeah,
Love
it
it.
should be fun. Yes, thank you
Come
guys.
see us. We
Yeah,
invite you.
anytime.
The invitation's open. You just tell us when.
All right,
Awesome.
Ben, manual labor soon come. You ready?
Can't
Let's
wait.
get it.
Can't wait.
It's ready.
Yeah.
All
Oh,
right.
wear boots.
Yeah, heels for the dinner.
Bring my
boots
heels.
for,
That's
That's
right.
boots
For the
for
day.
work. Thank you guys so much. We appreciate it.
All righty.
you.
Thank y'all
Thank
so
you.
much.
Appreciate it.
All righty.
Appreciate it. That was awesome. That was fun. Once we got
That
the
was
internet,
really cool.
once we got the internet, we
group.
were golden. That was
It was
great.
great. It was really
golden
cool to
baby.
like learn about that. Like they're so right. Like, I mean, we're gonna drink their bourbon and we're gonna think it's great, whether it's good or not, just because we know them now. But like,
Yeah.
you know, the story and the process and everything that goes into it and all that, that is so cool.
And it's probably going to be like there's a baseline of like quality, like they're taking their time with it, they're doing it the right way. Like there's
Right.
going to be a safe assumption, like it'll probably be interesting and unique with that mash bill, and yeah,
probably pretty good.
Yeah.
You know, when you find out bourbon that's not good, it's when it's gimmicky or rushed. When it's
Yeah.
you know either just young, proofed way
Yeah.
down, or gimmicky. You know, like I
And-
don't know. I don't want to call anybody out, but you know what I mean by gimmicky. So
and
like,
Daniel
that's-
seems like he's like, I mean, for him to say we're 2 years of this and this still tasted young, like it was too young, like that's awesome. That's what you want.
That's what you want.
That's what you
Yeah,
want.
and you didn't give us the exact date. What if it gets to 3 years and they're still not happy with it? They're going to keep it going.
Keep
I love
going.
that.
Yeah.
Right.
I love that. Oh, well, 4 years it's coming out no matter what. Well, what if it sucks in 4 years? Right? Then you need to go to 6 or 8. You know. So anyway,
Sucks and
I
eight,
love
go
it.
for 15.
Okay,
Really
yeah.
just-
Happy 23.
Really let it go.
Hey, I was not BSing them. I really want to go up to the farm. Like that's a good weekend trip that we could do. Like a
I
boys
think that would
trip.
be
I
bring
think that'd be
bring
awesome.
the
The boys trip?
family. Well, no, I was gonna say bring the ladies and we could all kind of get to
It's
work.
not super
and-
far from Atlanta, so we could just fly into Atlanta and then they could stay.
No,
You know,
we're
we
just
could drive
driving.
down from
We're
there.
just
It's a
driving.
4-hour drive for me. I can't just
Yeah,
fly.
it's a freaking
It's
drive.
like
in
6
that
for
thing.
me. It's like 6.5 for me.
Oh,
So that's like right on the
geez.
edge of
Oh,
flyer.
so-
All I know is if I'm gonna
That's
go up
true.
there, I'm gonna get a sweet burger at Nick and Norman's.
Yeah,
that
that's
sounds
it.
amazing. Give me the burger. Okay. What
Yeah.
also sounds amazing is we're on hole 30. I'm almost done. But not only
Yes.
did we drink for the review tonight, but we get to drink on the show. Don't tell Kara. The
This
no.
is,
Is it really Noe? Okay, because I
Oh
did
my
Brandon
God. Come on,
torn my
Noe's.
leg. Is it no or Noe? Please, Jason, Jennifer. I don't know.
I don't know.
I don't get it.
They sent us something.
Oh my gosh.
Don't know
Have you
what
smelled
it
it yet?
is.
Oh man.
Haven't smelled it. Don't say
Oh,
anything
man.
disparaging. They're on here. They're not gonna
I
look.
know they're on here. They do this on purpose to me.
Okay. Ben doesn't like it so far.
Oh.
But is it no or Noe?
Hold on,
I-
hold on. I poured it out and it got way fruitier. Out of the little sample thing, it was
Definitely.
like a smoke bomb.
Definitely a lot of fruit on it. But it's a little smoky too.
A little
not-
smoky. Definitely smoky. Or they smoked into it. Or they're using it
N-O-E.
to like
No
store
E.
scotch and then they give it to us.
So I initially thought it was a Scotch at first, but I know what this is. So I'm dead.
Do you
Dude.
know?
Do you know?
I don't know for sure, but I'm
Oh,
really
got
confident. in my
more-
pick, and I will go
Jeez.
last. That's how confident I am when we do guess. There is a
I'll go second last.
There's
You
a
go last,
sweetness
I'll go
to
last.
it.
Again.
But see, I was enjoying a Scotch this weekend, so I'm fresh off like knowing it was a Lagavulin and
Jeez.
finished in Guinness cask, so it was super peaty, but then had the Guinness finish. It was the Nick Offerman edition. It was awesome. But anyways, like that was so
I
malt.
actually want to try that.
Oh,
Listen to
well,
the label,
I will-
But yeah,
Yeah, I gotta.
send the label down too.
Okay, I'll finish the bottle and send you the bottle, and you
That
can
sounds
have the
great.
label. But that was when you taste the Scotch and you know it's 100% malt or mostly malt if it's a malt grain mix, that you can
Yeah.
tell like the maltiness gives a different type of flavor than the corn does. This to me, my brain was going, is this a rye? Is this a
rye.
bourbon? Like there's an herbliness of rye to it that I got as well initially. And then I'm like, this isn't full Scotch though. So I know what it is. I'm not going to say anymore because I want to watch you guys.
Okay, you say.
If I
know
get
what
this
it
right,
is.
you guys owe me something special. I feel so confident in this.
Wow.
Okay.
That's a bold prediction. Jeez. Okay.
Definitely smoky.
Oh yeah, but it gets fruitier. It gets like citrus and.
And you're saying it's a bourbon. It's not a Scotch, Brendan.
That's not what I said.
Oh, so it could be a Scotch.
I don't think it's a Scotch.
Oh, okay.
Ben, what did you think? It says blind taste. What did you think the sample bottle said at first?
Blend task. Blend task.
It kind of looks like
blend task. Okay, just saying here. Blend task. That's TASK.
Blind task. That's blind task.
Blind task. Okay.
Yeah. That's not taste.
Anyway. Man,
I don't love it.
Hold on.
Watch you be Pappy 23 and maybe like an.
I feel
it smells young. Like it does got this very shiny, undeveloped, like it's spiking out in all sorts. Herbally, there's sweet corn, but that peat's there too. I know what this guys.
It's hard. It's hard for me because I can't get past the peat to get to anything else that I would traditionally love.
Keep letting it air. Like keep letting it air.
Ooh. TJ and Ben.
How do I?
What do you want to do? Do one of these actions?
Do it this. Yeah.
What are your
one of these actions?
Real quick, what are your shirt
and it
sizes?
gets fruity.
What are your shirt sizes?
It's medium.
Daniel wants to know.
I'll do a large.
Large.
Is it a polo? Is it an Adidas pullover? Because then it's a medium.
I doubt it's an Adidas.
Is it a long sleeve Adidas pullover with a quarter?
Is it a tech shirt? Is it a tech shirt? Moisture wicking or cotton based? Long sleeve.
It's going to be red corn based.
With a closed mouth. Well, that doesn't happen for me often. Breathe in, breathe out the nose to get the smell.
Sweet peat. There's some level of peatiness to this.
There's
definitely peat to it. There's definitely peat,
but
I'm getting citrusy. Yeah, I'm getting a lot of like fruit notes.
Which is a peat. A lot of time, if you get through the peat and the smoke, this is really good. If you guys were trying to get into Scotch, this is a really nice because people think peat and they think it's just a smoky,
it definitely
salty.
Smoky.
There's
definitely
some of it
finishes smoky. I'll tell you that much.
But Ben's pointing out there's a sweetness to it that you can start focus on that, and you can start pulling apart other flavors as well.
Yeah, there's definitely a brining. I feel like this is like an Isla.
I don't think it's a Scotch.
Well, given that I have zero experience in Scotch, I think it's a Scotch.
Jason says it's not a Scotch.
Jason says it's not a Scotch.
Jason, I know what this is. I'm gonna text Jason on the side right now.
Don't text him. Just call him out. Put your guess out there. You're not going to influence my guessing.
Let him hang, bro. Let him hang.
Okay. All right, I'm going to guess. So I purchased a High West American bourbon finished in peated
I think it's
cask.
a campfire. Huh?
Oh, I was going to go with campfire. That's hilarious.
Yeah, I was thinking campfire.
I was too.
Are you going to go campfire?
Yeah,
I thought because it's spicy bourbon and that. Yeah, I thought it was campfire.
I think it's got the herbliness of rye. I think it's got the sweetness of bourbon. And I think it's got the peat of Scotch, which is
totally gonna be my guess too. I swear.
That's my guess.
Mostly because I couldn't think of any. Well, I mean, how many unscotch or how many Scotchy bourbons are out there? Jennifer, either she started cheering for Miami or we got it right.
I'm really pissed off that you said it before
It's like a sweet barbecue chip.
That's hilarious. But how many? I mean, you're mad at us, but like, how many non-Scotchy bourbons are out there?
Jennifer, it has this hickoryness to it, and I didn't even think of the chip vibe too. Yeah.
Okay.
Is it? Did we get it right? Oh, it's not campfire. Damn it.
Yeah, I think I feel like it's.
Oh, never mind.
I feel like it's more smoky than campfire.
Well, I was gonna say, yeah, I think it is too. But I was gonna say that the first time I had campfire, I didn't like it. This I don't love, but like I'm trending a little more that way because I can start to pick out the different layers. But since it's not campfire, it doesn't matter. Okay. Well, since we went over 3,
since I'm wrong, this was what I was going to say. Is what I got was a limited release. It's bourbon finished in peated whiskey.
Can I get a sample of that?
Yeah, if you guys want it. It's super. This is peatier than their sample is. It's not the same thing, I don't think, but this has a Yeah, my wife smelled both before we went on air, and she was like, "Yeah, this is
All right.
peatier than the sample."
Jason and Jim, we're not anywhere close. It's a
Hold
store
on.
pick. That's what I was gonna say. Store pick from Total Wine,
Hold on.
Alpharetta.
Oh.
Okay. Can you give us the? Well, I might give it away. I was gonna say.
I think it's a
give us the
Balcones
distiller.
then.
I was gonna say
I think it's
Balcones.
A
has
Balcones
done-
American peated single malt, something like that. Yeah, Balcones.
Interesting if it's a Balcones because like they already gave us some Balconeses. Oh, I just had a sample of it, TJ.
TJ's had samples of it, and he can't get it right.
Yeah.
I don't know. What
The
No,
problem
no,
is
he's
Balcones.
Tell us that there is peat in this, right? We're not crazy. I just nailed it. Balcones with peat, or is it this?
Did Brendan nail it or Ben? Because
No,
I
think you
said
Brendan.
I feel like Balcones peanut single malt is what I just said, and Brendan was like, "Oh, what? Dang it! Was it the High West pick?"
I think the
Was
High
it the
West
High
pick.
West?
It's closer to the High West pick to me than like Balcones. I think is good, and we'll drink more Balcones offerings from the Noes soon. But like I feel like Balcones is going to be denser because it's from Texas. It's going to be
I
darker.
also think it'd be darker too.
Yeah,
that's the only thing that's
exactly.
throwing me off. This is like light.
So I thought it was this, and I was sampling them back and forth. But this was, I mean, but they're store picks. This was from one in Gainesville, so it's possible the store picks are different. High West American.
American Prairie Pete. Interesting.
I'm holding the actual bottle.
Brendan's holding the bottle.
They just
Okay.
They're not the same.
So all I know is that I know this seems like it was rigged because Brendan has the bottle that apparently we're sampling and he had no idea that's what it was. Just saying. Weird. It's weird how that worked out.
Because I drank this weekend, and this,
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
and that's what this reminded me. This is like my Slumdog Millionaire, and I still got it wrong.
Well, that's embarrassing.
Wow.
It's not bad. I don't love it.
I like it, but I like Scotch.
It's growing on me a little bit more. This is a good way to maybe jump into Scotch. I've told Brendan,
Yes.
Ben, I want him to sommelier us a little bit into Scotch.
Mhm.
Like, give us some good
Just go
entry level
unpeated.
Scotches.
Go unpeated first.
Just whatever. Brendan's the sommelier. The sommelier.
We'll start with Monkey Shoulder. Then we'll get into
So Brendan picks, but I feel
Brendan.
like this would be a good way, or a campfire or something like that. Something that's not full on Scotch. But see, when you're not used to the Scotch, that peat comes through so heavy, so heavy.
Yeah, that's true.
I would have listen. If you guys didn't interrupt me, I would have been wrong with the High West Campfire, but I would have had this out there, and they would have been like, "Wow, he's so close with this in his hand."
Well, you didn't because
You suck.
you're an idiot, but whatever.
Other than that, you're great.
Uh,
I like it, Jason. Jason didn't love it either. He wants his Scotch to be Scotch and bourbon to be bourbon. I want
That's
my
very
bourbon
valid.
to be bourbon and my Scotch to be bourbon. So I see what you're saying there, kind of. But
I liked it as a change. I like it as this specifically, and this one too. It's a nice change of pace. Like it gives you the sweetness of bourbon, but it gets you a nice little peat too.
I feel like my lungs are closing up.
Oh my god, babies!
Barely breathe.
You're so good at it.
Barely breathe.
Thank you guys for the sample. We'll have an episode soon where we get into the balcones that you guys sent. But appreciate the experiment there. That was fun.
This is the most TJ has had to drink in a single evening in a month.
I know.
We drank 3 the other night on our rapid review.
Oh my
so
god.
smoky. It's so smoky.
I know
Oh
you
my
had
gosh.
too. Thank you, Jennifer. I agree with me too.
I'm
You
not
guys are
bad
the
at
best.
that.
We appreciate Noes for being so supportive.
Supportive.
Yeah, supportive.
Pursuits and
Fun.
purchases.
Ooh.
We haven't done this in a while. You know what? I actually did purchase something this week.
Oh,
I purchased.
What
it
did you
today.
purchase?
Do you guys want me to go first or last?
Not at all.
Go
Go first.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
I got a cough.
Oh.
So my buddy Blake sent me a text and said this was available.
Hello,
Nulu
Blake.
Nulu.
Single barrel toasted rye whiskey.
Yeah.
Online. And so it's a store pick as well. And so I went and grabbed one. I haven't bought anything in the last 2 months. Feel good about that. Well, not 2 full months, but it's been a while. Because
I got a bottle of Nulu toasted barrel bourbon for you that you purchased. So, okay.
But excited for this. The toasted bourbon and the toasted rye, now mine. So excited for that. It doesn't count until I own them.
That's
Way to
pretty
go,
good.
man.
In
Live
my
the dream.
possession.
Right up your alley,
So-
TJ.
Yeah, I saw that a while ago, and I was like, oh, I don't know, Nulu. And then I saw him like really hitting on the secondary market, which
Blown
isn't
up.
really a great indicator of how good something is, but it is a great indicator of how hard something is to get, right? And so just because something is really expensive on the secondary market doesn't mean that it's amazing, but it does mean that it's hard to find.
Price is indicative of availability, not quality.
Correct. Yeah. I mean, that's my opinion on it. I mean, I could be wrong there, but
I think
that's how I feel.
There's a Venn diagram. Second episode we're gonna be
Ooh.
a Venn. Usually, if
Venn
it's more
diagram.
expensive, it's gonna be a higher quality, but not always. Not always.
Yeah. So anyway, so Buddy sent it to me. Shout out Blake. Thank you for sending that over. And I went ahead and pulled the trigger there. Feel like I'd reward myself.
Nice. Good.
Way
Good
to
on
go,
you.
man. Way to reward yourself.
TJ loves
I
a
like that.
nice toasted rye.
Ben, have you bought anything recently? I don't think you have.
I have not, but I have bought, in theory, 1/100th of 4 bottles that I could possibly get.
So
if the Super Bowl scores.
Ben's playing
work
Super
out.
Bowl squares. What are the numbers again? 4 and 0?
No, 0 and 2. So 2 sucks.
That's not good. 2 is not a good number. 2.
I agree.
You can get to 2.
I'm counting on safeties exclusively.
Yeah, 2 is a tough one. I'm thinking 32 is possible. 22 is like a maybe. 42 is doable. But then like you're only in it. So Super Bowl squares, just quick lesson. Like 1, 7, 0, and 3 are good numbers to have all the time because you could get those.
You didn't even explain this yet, but yeah.
But you guys need to shout out the bourbon drinkers tomorrow in the FSU space. That is not true because I did the FSU spaces a few weeks ago, and all we talked about for like the last 10 minutes is bourbon. So, but I will make sure that Josh shouts you guys out tomorrow. And if you drink bourbon and you go on the FSU spaces, for anybody listening or watching this, I'll put you up first because we'll talk about that instead of.
And we're gonna have a bourbon on a budget spaces on Wednesday evening at 8:30 p.m.
And we're going to have a collaboration with an FSU football player coming up soon, too. So stay tuned.
Oh, that's right. With potential giveaway.
All of our worlds are colliding. So anyway, Ben and I are in a Super Bowl squares. I don't need to explain Super Bowl squares to them because they understand Ben. Like everyone watching.
Yeah, I won one of those.
Okay.
When I was
it's like you didn't even explain it.
I don't know the rules. I know the rules.
Ben, I was in first grade and I won the second quarter and fourth quarter and won like half the money in the pool. Like as a
no one cares, Brendan.
So the bottles are Pappy. What are the bottles, Pappy?
Hold on. Jeez, man. Is this my pursuits and purchases or yours?
You're taking too long.
You're taking too long.
Bottles. I haven't even talked the last 10 minutes. Okay.
It's been great.
Quarter 1, Booker's Rye.
Been great.
Quarter 2, Pappy 23, 2017. Quarter 3, Pappy 15, 2019, and the final score is Michter's 20 year.
So
Dude,
what sucks about
this, bangers?
What sucks about the 0 and 2 is you realistically cannot get 2 at the end of the first quarter. You're going to count on a
safety,
team,
baby.
Yeah, just not realistic. Probably can't get it at the end of the second quarter. Probably cannot get it at the end of the second quarter. Maybe at the end of the third and fourth. But if you were to get like a 1 or 7 or 3, those are scores that could kind of keep you in it the whole game. So
we're going to win this thing. I'm feeling it.
I feel
Michter's
terrible.
20.
Those numbers suck.
Michter's 20, baby. Let's go. Let's freaking go.
Michter's 20.
I feel really good.
Brendan, what about your purchases?
Is my volume on?
Yeah.
Okay, I wasn't sure. I was trying to send you guys a picture that the note we sent me.
Out the FSU spaces.
All right, awesome. So I only got one thing on. It's funny. After our last show, I decided to put this on the pursuit list because we found out that it was coming to Florida, and that was Maker's Mark limited release FAEO 2.
Dos.
Deuce. Oh boy. A lot of peated bourbon. So anyways, I really like the FAEO 1. You guys were more, it was a little harsh for you. But anyways, we all love Maker's Marks. Anything they do, limited releases, their stave picks, cask strength 46. So anyways, I went out, I searched for a couple at ABC a couple days in a row, nothing. I checked a couple other stores, nothing. I went to one place that's becoming like a little honey hole for me. The store clerk's a little different, but he seems to have warmed up to me. So he likes to be very sarcastic and mess with me. But anyways, I was like, hey, you got any Maker's Mark FAEO2? And he was like, yeah, I got 2 of them, but they're both for me. And I was like, oh, that sucks. And he's like, no, just kidding. You want one? Guys, I got one.
Way to go,
boy.
Way to go. Way to pursue and purchase that thing.
Yeah.
I did a review of it. It's on our YouTube page, and you can check it out. I thought it was really nice. It was closer to the Maker's Mark profile that the FAEO1 is, but still had some really exquisite mouth feel. It was pretty unique in some of the elements of fruitiness that it had a ton of flavor to it. So yeah, I really like it. You guys will get a sample pretty soon, and we will do a full-on review. All 3 of us, maybe do a FAEO1, FAEO2 head-to-head.
Mm-hmm.
And maybe we'll even start on a King of the Hill with wheat at some point.
Ooh.
With a little wheater.
King wheat.
Shorten our King of the Hill thing. It goes on too long, 6-7 weeks. I think we're going to put a couple of rounds in each week.
Abbreviate, yeah.
But I like the idea of doing a wheated. I think that's really fun. I like King of the Hill. I think it's a lot of fun to do those. Hey, we are going to do a Bourbon Spaces on Wednesday night at 8:30. I know we, just because of what Brendan and I do, one for work, one for hobby, run into a lot of FSU people. So there's an FSU basketball game at 9 p.m. on Wednesday night. It's a long time to just be sitting around waiting for games to start and different things. So if you've got some time, jump on Twitter. I didn't want to label it as just this, but people have been asking for like a 101 into bourbon or like an entry into bourbon and stuff like that. I think that'd be a good thing to start the conversation about, and then we can move on to whatever questions people have. Doesn't have to stay on that, but just some beginner tips for people. We have not done that on here. We did a beginner pack and Ben didn't understand the assignment, so that was fun.
I won the beginner pack, but yes.
Hopefully Ben gets it next time, which will be Wednesday night, 8:30 on our Twitter. It's Bourbon Budget. At Bourbon Budget. You can search for Bourbon on Budget and find it that way as well. Do you guys have anything else before we get out of here? Are we wrapped up?
This was fun.
Well, follow us on social media. Join us on Wednesday night. Come back on Thursday when we do a review of, we don't know what it is just yet, but
the end of Brendan month.
It's the last
It'll be a
of Brendan month.
Banger.
It's all
It will not be.
It's all Ezra 7. We can tell them. We've already had it. Ben, can you
just wait till next week? Just wait till next week. We'll have a sweet new bottle because I'm gonna win a Michter's 20. I'm calling it.
Get a WD-40.
I'm calling my shot right now. Michter's 20. Michter's 20.